Image is everything. Organizations with a good reputation are more likely to be trusted and utilized, which translates into increased revenue. These impressions develop from interaction with stakeholders, whether that be through advertisements, press releases, or even social media posts. Effective communication is the key to building and maintaining positive relationships with an audience. Are you aware of how your communication affects the public's perception of Progressive insurance? I plan to examine a recent legal case using Goffman's drama metaphor in order to suggest simple, easily applicable communicative strategies employees can use to enhance Progressive's image. As you may recall, in June of 2010, 24-year-old Caitlin Fisher, insured by Progressive, died in a tragic car accident. She was hit by Ronald Kevin Hope III, who, according to eyewitnesses, sped through a red light, pushing her Honda Insight over the curb and straight into a light pole. Ronald was underinsured and could only contribute a small sum for the damage caused. Although it was required through Caitlin's policy that Progressive pay the difference, the highest amount offered was only 1/3 of the total. The Fisher family proceeded to sue the driver at fault in order to establish negligence. At the hearing, Ronald was defended by Progressive's in-house attorney, Jeffrey M. Moffitt. Progressive later denied that its attorneys served the defendant, yet court documents prove Progressive filed as an interested party and was granted all participation rights of a member originally on the case. As this trial is making the news, the public reached out to Progressive via Twitter, some seeking justification for its actions, while others sought to persuade it to change its mind on fully reimbursing the family. The consumers' varying complaints all received the same replies. We fully investigated this claim and relevant background and feel we properly handled the claim within our contractual obligations. Thanks for your feedback. Or, as we've said to a couple others, at this point our focus is to resolve the matter with the Fisher family. Progressive's image was hurt because of the manner in which it responded to its tweets. According to Goffman's drama metaphor, organizations and their spokespeople are like actors performing on a stage. Using strategic communication, their role is to present themselves in the best light possible so the audience feels an affinity for them. The messages that are presented front stage, or in front of the audience, form the foundation from which stakeholders go on to co-construct meaning, inform, or modify an impression. Audience perception is determined by the overarching theme of impression management. During the Fisher case, how effectively did Progressive communicate on Twitter to create a desirable impression in the minds of others? Not very well. Its front-stage communication to varying concerns was systematic, de-individualized, and dismissive, leading consumers to peg Progressive as cold and bottom-line focused. These curt Twitter replies were likely a result of communicative acts which threatened the company's face, or public image. During all interactions, face is continuously being negotiated. It can either be lost, maintained, or enhanced. Progressive lost face when the masses criticized the corporation for rejecting to pay the full claim to the Fisher family. To counteract this, Progressive asserted negative face, illustrating its dominance over consumers by denying their concerns had any merit. Another concept to be mindful of during any kind of communication is footing, or the relation between the spokesperson and the message. The greater distance between the two, the less trustworthy and authentic the individual and/or organization is perceived to be. In the Fisher case, the Progressive representative who tweeted, the animator, may or may not have been the same person who crafted the message, the author, but the views expressed in the tweet, the principal, were likely the head of the company's perspective, which was passed down the hierarchy as the official statement to be released to the public. Since the tweet may not have reflected the sentiments of its poster, Progressive could be viewed as less genuine. How an interaction is framed vastly influences audience perceptions. Framing, or giving a situation context, directs the audience toward a particular interpretation. Through denying the charges and attempting to absolve itself of all blame by stating it fully abided by its contractual obligations, the audience perceived that Progressive was evading responsibility and trivializing its needs, degrading its image in the public eye. To be viewed more favorably by the public, Progressive can execute a variety of strategies in future interactions. Concerning impression management, all of the messages it projects outward should be a positive reflection of the company. In other words, front stage messages should be personalized and customer-focused. Backstage, the area hidden from the audience, is where all of the comments inappropriate for public consumption should be aired, and where the bugs should be worked out before official announcements are made. Progressive should always aim to maintain or enhance face through honest, two-way dialogue with consumers. After face-threatening acts, the company can save face and regain credibility through asserting positive face, winning over the public with goodwill. It could have accomplished this by addressing and acting on stakeholder concerns, apologizing, and speaking candidly. In a large, heterogeneous company like Progressive, it is nearly impossible for everyone to share the same views. However, it is still important that in terms of footing, there be as little distance as possible between spokespeople and their messages. In other words, whether in person or online, representatives should wholeheartedly endorse the positions they broadcast to promote an authentic and trustworthy image. From now on, Progressive should frame its communication in a way that is empathetic to consumer needs. In the Fisher case, Progressive should have taken responsibility for its mistake, vowed to resolve the issue in a way that both the company and public would approve of, and reassured the audience that safeguards would be enacted so similar mishaps do not occur in the future. Progressive has the opportunity to mold its image with every communicative act. All four concepts from Goffman's drama metaphor, impression management, face, footing, and framing, have a major impact on establishing mutually beneficial relationships with stakeholders. Progressive spokespeople must put well-edited messages front stage, prioritize positive face, be aware how spokespeople relate to an organization's perceived authenticity and trustworthiness, and frame discussions based on serving the consumer's needs. During any interaction, remember that the public is far from passive. It is constantly co-creating meaning from the disseminated words, and with that, forming or modifying an impression of the company. A single statement can bolster one's image just as easily as one can shatter it, so be sure to make every message count.